Method number 3 is my favorite method of all. It's the most direct method, but also it gives us a reminder that as frustrating and confusing as our music notation system can sometimes be, every once in a while it provides us with a really elegant solution to our musical problems. And this is going to be one of those very elegant solutions. So I'm going to show you how to do this method, but I also want you to understand why this method works. And to do that, I'm going to need to go back to our discussion of relative minor keys. And I'm going to use F major as my starting point here. And I've written out an F major scale in the second staff, using the key signature of 1 flat, B flat. So we said that in order to find the relative minor scale of a particular major scale, we can go to the 6th scale degree, to scale degree number 6, and start from that note. And scale degree number 6 in F major is D. So I'm going to start from D, and using the same key signature, using the key signature of F major, I'm going to write in each of my scale degrees, starting from D and then ending on D. And I'm going to end up with a D minor scale. So here's the F major, here's the D minor. We said another way we can think about that is that we're keeping the same key signature, but we're moving the tonic, our starting note, from F down to D, or we're moving the tonic down by a minor third. That's the other way that we can think of that relationship. But that relationship works in the opposite direction too. If we are in D minor, we can always find what our relative major is going to be by moving up a minor third. So if I was in D minor and I wanted to find out what is the relative major of D minor, one of the ways that I could do that is simply to jump up a minor third, and I would come to F, and I would say, well, F major is the relative major of D minor. And it's that minor third relationship that's going to give us the key to method number 3. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to erase my F major scale here, just pretend I didn't do this for a moment, and I'm going to start back from my top line where I have a D major scale. And I'm going to say, okay, I have a D major scale. I want to make the parallel minor scale, but I want to do it using method number 3. So what am I going to do? I'm going to remember that in order to find the parallel minor, I'm going to go up a minor third from my tonic. So my tonic of D major is D. If I go up a minor third from D, I end up on an F natural, which tells me that the key signature, or that my relative major key is going to be F major, and I know that the key signature of F major is 1 flat, B flat. So I can simply now make a D major scale, or I'm sorry, a D minor scale, by using that key signature of F major and starting on D. Okay, it's just sort of another way of saying what I just said. But notice the implication of this. This means, notice every single note that I've written here, every single line and space is exactly the same. I have the D line filled in, the E line filled in, the F space, the G line, the A space, the B line, and so forth. Which means all I have to do, now that I know that I'm going to be using the key signature of F major to make this into a D minor scale, all I have to do is go over here, erase my key signature of D major, replace it with my key signature for F major, which is also the key signature for its relative minor, D minor. And just by changing the key signature, I have changed my D major scale into a D minor scale. Let's look at a couple more examples of this, just so you can see how it works. It sometimes takes a minute for this to just register completely. So let's take a couple more examples. Let's go to an E major scale, and I'll take you through each one of these steps again. So I'm going to write out an E major scale, and I'm going to use a key signature of 4 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. So here we go. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. So there's my E major scale. Now I want to find the the parallel minor scale. I want to find the minor scale that begins on E. We've just figured out E major. Now I want to figure out E minor. Well, all we need to do is we need to move up a minor third, or find the note that is a minor third above our tonic, which is E, which is G. Minor third above E is G. So we know that the relative major of E minor is G, which means the key signature that we're going to use for E minor is the same key signature that we have in G, which is 1 sharp. So notice, if I go back up to my scale on top, all I need to do to change this from an E major to an E minor is change my key signature from key signature of E major to the key signature of 1 sharp, which is the key signature for G major, but also the key signature for its relative minor, E minor. It's as simple as that. I just went from to just by changing the key signature. Let's try one more, just so we see how that works completely. All right, let's go from, let's start from B flat. Let's write it a B flat major scale. So here we're going to use the key signature of B flat, which is 2 flats, B flat and E flat. I'm going to write out the B flat major scale here. So that's B flat major. And, major. What I want to do is I want to find out what is the B flat minor scale going to be. Okay, so again, my steps are, I'm going to start with my tonic note, which is B flat. I'm going to go up a minor third from my tonic note, which is D flat, which tells me that the relative major of B flat minor is going to be D flat major. So that means that B flat minor is going to have the key signature, or the same key signature as D flat major. So I'm going to write in my key signature for D flat major here, which is the key signature of 5 flats: B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. And now here's where the magic happens. All I need to do is change my key signature up here from the key signature of B major to the key signature of B minor, which I'll do right here. And my B major scale becomes a B minor scale. I'm sorry. It's as simple as that.